Liverpool 2, Wolves 1. That is a very, very important win for Arne Slot. It gets Liverpool back to winning ways despite a Liverpool performance that was far from 10 out of 10. Ultimately, Liverpool relied on the use of their squad yet again, and they relied on someone like Luis Diaz, who caused absolute havoc in this game, who I'd argue has been a little bit flat at the start of 2025, not scored as many goals as I think he'd like and Arne Slot would like, and they got the job done. That's all you can ask for. It's what I said about Arsenal yesterday on the channel when they beat Leicester City. It wasn't a prime performance. It wasn't ideal. 0-0 in the 80th minute for them. But ultimately, Liverpool got over the line. We're going to talk about the big moments, but I have to start off with just the context of the result, because going away to Everton, being 2-1 up, and that Tarkowski strike, I saw it as 2 points dropped. And the reason I say that is because I look at how the players reacted. I look at how Arne Slot reacted. Obviously, we're talking about sendings off because they were so angry about maybe the build-up play going into the Tarkowski goal, the refereeing in the game. I think if Liverpool were a little bit further ahead in the title race, a few more points, a little bit less pressure, maybe hadn't lost to Plymouth in the FA Cup. I'm not saying it's the biggest result in the world to lose to Plymouth in the FA Cup based on what Liverpool need to do this season, but it begins to build up. Plymouth, then Everton, then you get the pressure with the sendings off. If you draw to Wolves, it compounds the issue, in my opinion. And Liverpool will feel that they drop points against Everton. If you drop points at home to Wolves, it gives Arsenal more than enough ammunition. It really does. 7 becomes, 5 in around that kind of mark. So to get the win was absolutely crucial. Then you look at Liverpool's fixtures. Aston Villa away. They're not in the best form, just drew with Ipswich. But Man City away, who just blew Newcastle United away with Mamouche scoring a hat-trick. So Liverpool's fixtures get a lot harder after Wolves. And you've got obviously Champions League competition coming in as well, and a League Cup final to think about. You can't not do anything but win this game. You absolutely cannot. We're going to talk about all the goals, obviously where it leaves Liverpool at the moment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. If you're new, we'd really appreciate it. It wasn't classic Liverpool, but they did the basics very, very well. I thought Jota for the first goal, absolutely fantastic. Coming short, linking up play, getting it on the spin into Diaz. Diaz gets it into Salah. It's a poor touch from Salah, and the Wolves defender, who I thought had a bit of a nightmare in the game, Agbadou, flicks it on to Diaz, who bundles it home. It's his first goal of 2025. 9 goals in the league this season, 13 in all competitions. He's the kind of guy that could be on 20 in all competitions at this stage in the season. Obviously, it wasn't a classic finish, but it doesn't really matter. For Diaz's electricity, for the fact that I still think he absolutely dominates that left-hand side. No one gets in there for me over him. Maybe play him down the middle. If Liverpool had a big game in the Champions League next week, for example, I think you play Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah. So for someone that kind of dominates 2 out of 3 positions in the Liverpool front three for the best side in Europe, you could argue he deserves maybe a few more goals, or he should be trying to aim for a few more goals. I think he's been a little bit in front of goal, a little bit maybe clumsy in goal, in front of goal, a little bit less direct. His finishing hasn't always been on point in the last few weeks. And even though this wasn't a beautiful finish, of course not, it bounced off the keeper, Jose Sa. I think the runs, I thought the runs were fantastic today. I thought Diaz was direct and aggressive, and he got Liverpool over the line crucially. Obviously, a lot of controversy for the second goal. It's McAllister who plays a long ball again into Diaz. And Diaz caused a lot of havoc between the centre-back, between Jose Sa. We're in a sad state of affairs in Premier League football, even in European football, where when Diaz shoulder barges Agbadou and puts him off and it stops him clearing the ball, Agbadou has to go down. And Agbadou is 6'4", big unit, powerful centre-back. And if he doesn't go down, it's an advantage to Liverpool. So basically, he has to go down for the sake of his side. He has to gamble. The referee, Simon Hooper, is an absolute disgrace to referees, in my opinion, will give him the foul. Because it was a foul. I think Diaz does nudge him, and it does affect his play. It does affect his ability to clear the ball. So it's a clear foul. But we're saying that because Agbadou was honest, and maybe he didn't get nudged to the extent where he doesn't even need to fall down, then he's not being rewarded, because I think it still was a foul. Basically, is a foul just going down? Because no, it's not. A foul can be excessive force and a kind of push at a different angle, and you might not fall over. So I think Liverpool were a little bit lucky in that regard. Obviously, Salah buries it, smashes it into the middle, into the roof of the net. High scorer in the Premier League. Wasn't his best game today, Mohamed Salah, but still to be among the goals. I think you're saving that kind of form for Man City away, as I said, for Aston Villa away. You get through them, but it's a big penalty. I think Wolves could have easily left there today thinking we should have had a draw, because Wolves created so many chances in the second half. In particular, Cunha was running the show at points, and it says a lot that Liverpool can just be average today, in my opinion, but get a world-class result in a Premier League title race where pressure was mounting because of Arsenal. Getting over the line, Gravenberch at points, McAllister at points, just keeping the ball, keeping it simple. Wasn't an electric, scintillating Liverpool side, but they did the job in a big, big way. I thought Matezzi, when he came on, was absolutely fantastic, by the way. Caused a lot of havoc. He went through one-on-one against Allison. Allison making a Peter Schmeichel save. I've said it before on the channel, but it's not even a Peter Schmeichel save anymore. It's an Allison save. He's the best keeper in the world, and he creates a level of stability where, you know, if that was a different type of keeper, even Edison, let's just say, maybe it becomes one, you know, a chance for Wolves. It's a goal scored. It becomes 2-1 earlier in the game, and then you're thinking maybe it's 2-2, for example. It could get a little bit closer to being a draw. That being said, Cunha, what a strike! I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. He beats a man on the edge of the box, cuts it in from the left hand side on his left foot. Absolutely outrageous goal. 3 goals in a row he's scored now, Cunha, and you feel that he's got that big move for him in the summer waiting. Nothing Allison could do. Thinking maybe it's 2-2, for example. It could get a little bit closer to being a draw. That being said, Cunha, what a strike. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. He beats a man on the edge of the box, cuts it in from the left-hand side on his left foot. Absolutely outrageous goal. 3 goals in a row he's scored now, Cunha. And you feel that he's got that big move for him in the summer waiting. Nothing Allison could do. But it all kind of crescendos for the big moment at the end of the game. Tommy Doyle drives the ball in. Manetzi is getting between the centre-backs. And if you look at Quantas, he's not even goal side. He has to make up the distance to clear the ball. It's an outrageous clearance of the highest quality. And Quantas is someone who's very, very interesting, in my opinion. Last season, highly, highly rated by Jurgen Klopp, trusted in big, big games. I thought his ability on the ball, I thought he looked like a very well-balanced centre-back with a lot of pace. He's got a lot of agility, and he's started the season rough. Obviously, starting against Ipswich, didn't quite work, got rotated. He was worried on a slot about the physicality of Ipswich, pumping it long into Liam Delap and Quantas losing it. But for Quantas to get back into this kind of form where he's not just a backup or emergency backup. I think he's a very strong contender to be starting for Liverpool, you know, at the start of next season, for example, and so on. And when Konate went off protection for the yellow card, I think it was, then Quantas comes in and puts that kind of block in. Absolutely fantastic. It's what Premier League title sort of races are built on. Blocks like that stop it being a draw, because a draw hinders Liverpool in a big, big way. And Quantas, that block was a world-class bit of defending from the young centre-back. Absolutely outrageous. Look, this Liverpool side, it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't robust. They're playing 3 games. They're playing a game every 3 days. So you're looking at this side thinking, you know, Salah's looking a little bit tired. I didn't like the Jota dive. In my opinion, really, really poor. It wasn't perfect Liverpool by any stretch of the imagination, but this is what champions do. They keep you at arm's length. It looks like a beautiful opportunity for Arsenal. When Arsenal seeing Cunha score it, they're thinking Wolves are going to take points. They're going to think Aston Villa, Man City are going to take points. The way Liverpool have been playing this season, they will grind out results against both sides. I mean, they're favourites in both games for obvious reasons. And maybe at points, you just need to take your foot off the gas, grind out a win like this against Wolves, go into Aston Villa with a little bit more energy, a little bit more nous, and get the win in that regard. It was a very, very impressive result. It's the kind of grinding out performance against lower level opposition that I think Arteta has been missing for large parts of the back end of last season, at the start of this season. It's cost Arsenal massively, but Liverpool have just found a way this season of grinding it out. Van Dijk was fantastic. Allison with big moments. The midfield still ticking along, but really the hero of the game was obviously Luis Diaz. Big moments, his first goal of the calendar year. He's the kind of guy that his level could really elevate Liverpool, be the difference maker. It can't always be down to Salah. I think Gakpo, Jota, they can come in outside Darwin Núñez as well, Harvey Elliott, even Chiesa. But Diaz is one that's a lot closer to that kind of Mane replacement, that world-class level. And he was the difference today for Liverpool. It's a big, big win. Going to be talking about Manchester United, Spurs, Man City, and a few other things on the channel tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe if you're watching this far. I'll see you very, very soon.